Good day, everyone, and welcome back to the space. I am Loba, and today let's discuss the Mommy Club episode 10, season 3. So, what is an episode? An episode of the Mommy Club without drama? I think one thing I feel bad about the casting for the Mommy Club is that why did we not have Rosette on this show? Why don't we have Rosette on this show right from the very first episode? But it is what it is. I think I'm loving it and how the narrative of the ladies of this show is fast changing. So let us just go straight into it. So this episode, we get to know that, I think from the previous episode, we get to know that Mrs. J would be hosted the ladies, and she did hosted them. So I think the conversation should start with Mrs. J. So Mrs. J hosted the ladies, and it was a disaster. Yes, so the disaster. So I think probably where Mrs. J should have done better is probably before hosting the ladies, probably should have met with them and get to know their stand. Because I was also surprised with the energy Vuyi, Pheladi, and slightly Sande brought into the group and our events and how they made everything seem not to be so good. So I think that and also, Mrs. J had said a lot. Let her listen here. Mrs. J called these ladies that they are always under the influence from the last episode. And what's my take on that? Are they always under the influence? Or was that disrespectful? I think being under the influence, you saying they are always under the influence, Jay saying they are always under the influence, and someone who must have called them drunkard are not far from one another. The only difference is the fact that Mrs. J is euphemistic with hers, which implies she is saying they are drunk, they are drunk, or she's euphemistic about it. She's mild with it. She's not outrightly saying it out. So if probably called up, if someone called them a drunk, that's that person outrightly saying it. But Mrs. J is, she's mild with it. I think this is just euphemism playing out here. So I think that's my stand on that. So I feel probably Mrs. J owed them an apology. And I feel like Mrs. J is also a leading factor into how messy and how our event did not turn out well. I think probably Vuyi, Pheladi, and maybe Sande had come, and probably they will get to a common ground. In as much as the energy they brought into the show, into the space, is not so good, it is not surprising because where they less them or where they were left, they felt offended. Pheladi, it is understandable. Vuyi and others, I think they can still also have they might also have a stand about being called or drug. So I think all of those things played out. But the thing is that Mrs. J should have hardly own up or take accountability, especially for what she said about them being a drunk. And Mrs. J apology to Pheladi, was that good enough or was it very bad? I think she is standing on her ground that when it comes to this marriage situation, this is how it is, and I'm not taking back my word. But for how she had handled things, for what she had said, like Mrs. J should have let it be. She should have probably, since Palette is not having it, because sometimes a lot of people in society do some things that are not morally right. And if you call the attention to it and they are not having it, just apologize and let them live their life the way they want it. Why are you trying to be the fighter for the person? I think that's one thing. But normally, what's Pallady? If those claims are true, Pallady is not doing the right thing. But so that's that for Mrs. J and all the drama. So let us go to Rosette. I feel like Rosette is drama. She is, I don't know if I'll call Rosette a bully, but I just love how she came for these ladies. Reason why I love it is the fact that these ladies are mean. They've shown mean girl energy. Palladi and Vuyi, they've shown mean girls energy before now. So if Rosette is being hard on them, I love it. I'm here for it. So me, I think Fuyi was like, oh my god, I'm bored. I don't want to be here. That was just it. And I felt like Rosette saw through that, and she was like, I feel like Rosette saw through that, and she was like, if you're bored and you don't want to be here, don't be here. Don't come onto this space. And I just love how Rosette dealt with that. Well, she did too much. Rosette did too much. And I think this is another issue with Mrs. J. I felt Mrs. J should have come in there and, ease the tension rather than laughing and making things worse, considering the fact that she's the one hosting them. But Rosette, I am taking Simon Rosette because of the history, because how these people had been mean to a cast like Noksie before. So if Rosette is being mean to them now, it is aura for aura, and that's a period. Then Mrs. Sande. I feel like Mrs. Sande on this show, she's a people pleaser. She does not have a voice of her own, and it is really affecting our narrative and our perspective and our dynamic with the ladies on the show. When the other ladies left, Pheladi and Vuyi, she could not join them. And the one she had stayed back with, she never wanted to stay back with them. She should have owned up to her ground and followed the other two. But because she did not want to be perceived as someone who just who is easily swayed, which is true. So I feel like Pheladi do not have a voice of her own. I feel Pheladi is just on her own on this show. I said Pheladi. Sande is just on her own on this show. Then for Pheladi, I think Pheladi had actually she has changed from that person who is always quick to, come for people. But with this new revelation and how things have turned out, Pheladi is now like the calm one, the one who, oh my God, I'm so surprised. And in fact, I made pity her. But it is what it is. She should deal with it. She did the same thing with Noksie. Then Sunday bringing up the conversation where she was like, oh, Noksie is always so excited and all of that. And I was like, Sande, you shouldn't be the one bringing up this conversation. I feel like they are always coming for Noksie. If she's happy, if she's quiet, they always have something to say. Then when Sande chose not to come with Noksie and Rosette, I feel like it's Sande's um probably like her bad energy, or probably the fact that she's not been a good person to Noksie. That is a reason why she's drawing away from staying in the same space with Noksie and Rosette. She knows how Rosette can be very fierce, and it was good that she chose not to go on that ride with Rosette and Noksie, because I'm so sure she's not safe in the space where Rosette is. Rosette will come for her badly, or else probably Noksie had not told Rosette anything to regard Sande. But I feel probably the fact that Sande knew how Rosette can be, she chose to stay away from that. And I feel like it's how she has not been a very good person to Noksie. That's one thing, is making her run away from being in the same space with with these other two persons. If you guys could remember, the last time they had the last event that Happy hosted, Rosette, Noksie and Sande had good conversation. They were building a good friendship. But it was so crazy to see that when all the ladies were coming for Noksie, Sande was also one of them who raised issue and was so against Noksie, despite the fact that they had good conversation. She has promised to be loyal with Noksie, and all of a sudden she's also throwing Noksie under the bus. So I understand it is what it is. This is all I'll be discussing for this episode of the Mommy Club season 10. Season 3, episode 10. Please follow me for more content like this. Bye.